Hi, I'm Matt,
And I'm Shelby.
and we're first-time home sellers and worked with Brian here within the last year. So I've been personal friends with Brian for about 7 years. Was friends with him on social media, and we were getting ready to sell our house. And I discussed with Shelby. I'd known a pretty good realtor, and I'd seen him come up from flipping houses to selling multi-million-dollar properties. So we checked out his page and had still been in contact with him, and we thought that would have been the best fit to work with Brian. Shelby and I were looking at a new build, and it was going to be kind of complicated, so we could get out of our current house and get into the new one without any issues and taking on 2 mortgages. So we called Brian, and he came over to our existing home and did a tour of our house and got some personal information from us, and gave us some advice on how to move forward. So Brian had walked through the home with us specifically and talked about certain things that we should do prior to putting the home on the market. One was completing some of the projects that we had not finished in the home, trim, paint, that kind of stuff. He suggested some lawn care type of things to help give a presentation, and or if we had any existing photos of what some of the landscaping might be in different times of year. And also mentioned about lighting and things of that nature inside the home, as far as decorations and how things would look. So the next step in the process for us with Brian is, once we decided to go ahead and list the house for sale, he gave us a pretty intense market analysis.
Different sizes: 1564, 1670, and 1758. We already know we're 1670 under living area, so under roof, whatever you want to call it. Don't worry about that total square footage, but it's just really irrelevant, especially in a townhouse. You just have a little patio out the back. They're all 1-car garages, so a lot of these things are, a wash, so to speak. So again, 4 things. Oh, maybe there's 5. How updated it is inside. We're going to call it the location in the community, in the building, in the line of buildings. The units, location, the line of buildings. So that means, is it an end unit or is it an inner unit? Location to the community, clubhouse, etc., and size. So the highest selling one is 1733 square feet. Let's take a look at that now. And these are all sold in the last 6 months, right? I don't want to go back a year. I need to look at current market conditions.
Of our property as compared to comps in the neighborhood and the market. The market in 2023 was pretty intense. The interest rates were starting to climb, so it made us extra nervous. But with Brian putting everything in black and white for us was a huge help, big sign of relief. Explained how the market would work as far as our listing, and would help settle on a price point of where we should list it in price. So once Brian gave us the market analysis and we went over some comps, we agreed on a price. And one thing that was kind of interesting to us, being that the market has changed, is we were expecting price high, but Brian explained to us what the market was doing and made us feel confident in setting in a lower number. And it played out to our advantage. We had 1 or 2 open houses over the span of 1 weekend, and by Monday we had multiple offers. I say more than a dozen offers, and several of them were over the asking price, which gave us a lot to choose from. So by that happening, it made us feel a lot more confident that selling the house wouldn't be that big of an issue, since we were doing a new build. With our home sale, we had kind of some complicated issues. We were involved in a new construction build, and were pressed with carrying 2 mortgages. So after the open house, and we had some offers that we finally narrowed down and we made our selection. Once we chose which one we were going with, Brian made the transition from, okay, your house is on the market to now you're closing, very seamless. We had some additional things going on. We were actually renting back from our new buyers. And we told Brian that, and we weren't sure how to negotiate that, but I think it took one phone call between realtors, and we had a contract in place and we closed within 30 days. And then I think the day of closing, we were there for maybe 30 minutes. So Brian did a tremendous job of keeping things in line, and communication was open to where we really just didn't have to do much of anything but follow his direction and show up when we needed to.
I would say that Brian exceeded our expectations. He was very professional in every aspect of selling our home, and I would definitely use him again.
Yeah, I mean, Brian was on top of it from day one, from looking at the house to showing us the listing before it went on the market, up until and after closing, checking in on us, asking how we were doing, asking how we thought the process went. Really meant a lot. It was very personable. We just didn't feel like another customer.
Yeah, and I would also say the pricing strategy, I think that was really good, as well as the pictures that were taken of the home. I think it showed it in a really good light. I think that really helped the selling process.